We're live. Do you want to check for sound, as always?
I will check for sound.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 Level 1. I'm one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy, and here with me, as always, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the Uncharted 3 denier and liar, the man of many names, but we just call him one, Andy.
Standing here as always. I'm not yet the Elden Lord.
You're not the Elden Lord, because as you can see
Not
probably in
yet.
the title, Andy is still playing Elden Ring. But I don't think by the sounds of it he sucks at it, but we'll talk more about that later, because what I want to hit first is, have you seen the numbers the Sonic 2 movie's doing, Andy? First of all, have you seen the Sonic 2 movie, Andy? What is wrong with you, Andy?
Movie. Did you go to the cinema to see it, Ali?
I seen it via a cinema. No, I won't go to cinema. However, I have pre-ordered it on iTunes, the 4K version, so technically it's paid for. But the film's awesome. It's total fan service. Like, I feel I'll try and do spoiler free because I don't want to ruin any of it for you. Like, the first movie was very much still in the Michael Bay territory of let's show the humans a lot. And I don't think they were overly offensive in Sonic the Hedgehog at all, and I think they worked for the most part, and they kind of gave a balance. This one, they kind of give you more time with Sonic, Tails, and obviously no spoilers here, but Knuckles is in the movie, and Robotnik's fine. Like, Jim Carrey's absolutely fine. The fan service of what they do and the things they get up to, the after credit scene though, oh, my goodness, cannot wait for Sonic 3. And the numbers this movie's done, Andy, it's doubled its budget already, and it's been out for a week.
It's
A week. So this is bordering into...
It's longer than a week. It's a couple of weeks it's been out.
Sorry, couple of weeks. I tell a lie. It's first month.
Yeah.
We'll call it its first month. But doubling its budget, like, it's beyond video game movie territory. And I'm so glad that Sonic did it first, because I know Mario's going to come out and do well because it's Mario. But
See, do you think Mario's going to do well? Because
Yeah, absolutely.
nothing about that movie appeals to me. Like, fucking
CGI,
Mario
Chris
movie,
Pratt.
Like, it sounds terrible. Like, I understand why Mario the game is big, right?
Yeah.
Get it completely. But a Mario movie, and I know
Do you
you
know-
like that.
I love it.
That Super Mario Bros. Movie,
I
right?
love
But
it.
that's just a weird movie.
It's
Not a
strange.
Not a Mario movie.
It isn't it? It's almost like
weird.
it was rewritten like so many times. So like this is it's so many
Yeah.
writers, so many directors, and it finally get made, but it kind of get made into this sort of cyberpunk thriller movie. Like what
Yeah.
does a cyberpunk thriller? Like, it was fine as an 80s movie like that, but Mario, I don't know. It's just a classic to me. Like, I absolutely love it. I've got it in Blu-ray.
Totally, but I don't think it captures the essence of Mario, right?
It doesn't.
I think this is what they're going for with this movie.
Oh,
is they're
it's
gonna try
CGI
to
though.
capture the essence of Mario.
But it's
Yeah.
not like human CGI, it's like full just a CGI movie, which to me, I don't want to watch a full CGI movie. I want a sequel to my Mario movie. But anyway, this is for a new generation of children. I think it's DreamWorks that's doing it, the Minions folks. So they've instantly got the recognisable logo. They'll have a Minion walking in with Mario's hat on. You know they will, and Luigi's hat. The kids are going to love it, because when you think about it, Andy, we had 2 Mario Brothers cartoons that I remember. The one with the live action bits in the middle and Super Mario World that came after it, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Super Mario 3, I think it was called. And we had the Mario movie. We didn't have Mario comics though, which I thought was weird. Or maybe we did and they were short lived. But the kids these days have had nothing. And I mean, I don't mean kids these days. I mean, in the past 20 fucking years, there's been nothing like that for them. So I'm sure there's an audience.
Sonic's so much fucking cooler than Mario.
But Sonic's
Mario's
always
stuff.
had a consistent presence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with you, but I think Mario's going to do well because the fan base have had nothing for all these years. Look how popular the place in Japan is, the Nintendo World. Huge. Huge.
Yeah, and I get that for like the Mario games. Like, Mario games are good, they're well made, and everything, but I just don't see this movie doing well. I can't see it at all. Don't see it doing well.
Bookmark or clip this part of the video. It will. It will sell shitloads. I also seen Jason Momoa signed on. He's in the final talks for the Minecraft movie.
Jesus.
Jason Momoa.
No, thank you.
I bet it's a
I will-
voice.
I will-
I bet he's going to voice Steve.
Yeah, probably. I won't see the Minecraft movie. The
I have no
Mario movie,
interest.
like,
No
I'll
interest.
watch the trailer. I'll watch the trailer to see what it's like, but I don't have any interest in going to see the movie.
I'll see the Mario movie. Absolutely, I'll see the Mario movie. But
I don't
Minecraft.
care.
Do you know what?
I do
I've
want.
seen
I
worse.
do want to see. I do want to see the Sonic movie though. Hopefully, I'll
good.
get to go this week or next week, maybe.
Excellent. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I also wanted to talk about Nintendo, squeaky clean Nintendo, getting a labour lawsuit put on them today from a guy that used to work with them. That's not a good look for Nintendo, man. They can't afford for anything. They're the child-friendly kid. Everybody loves them. From ages 0 to 100, Nintendo. They shouldn't have this. Like, I'm not reading into it too much because Labour, I'll tell you this, a labour dispute is very different from the sexual harassment lawsuit, so it shouldn't even be tarnished with the same brush. This could be a disgruntled employee just being an asshole.
Yep. There are people out there who do just file lawsuits for any old shit, to be honest. Like, there was a guy, I was watching a video, but there's a guy and he's filed like 300 lawsuits against various different games.
And it's just to see if anybody will just pony up and go pay him off before it goes to court. Because some places will, because they don't want the headlines.
Yeah, they don't want the bad publicity of like, oh, such.
So maybe the fact this has got to the papers is Nintendo's like, bring it on, we're going to fucking countersue you to shit. Because they will, Nintendo countersue. Remember that guy they put 8 million in debt that was running the ROM sites? They're like, life in jail and you owe us 8 million.
Yeah.
But see, my problem with that is, see if Nintendo gave us a legit way to buy these games, absolutely fine. I'm not even talking about licensed games. Some of Nintendo's own games are no longer legally available to buy anywhere, like apart from the second-hand market. So it's like, I get it, but sell us it then. If you're going to remove the ROM sites, which Nintendo did very quickly. Well, you still get ROM sites, but you can't find Nintendo ROMs many places because not enough folk are brave enough. But
they didn't remove them quickly at all. Like, ROM sites have been around for like 10 plus years.
When they started, they went down quick. When Nintendo started...
Yeah. So that was only though when they brought out that SNES Mini.
It was, yeah.
And lead up to bring it out, they were like, we're gonna monetize these games. We don't want people to have the other games because we want to sell them to them in some other way at some point in time.
But the problem is they don't. It's
Not
like
all
30
them,
plus year old
some of them
games and they're never going to be available again. And it's like, okay. Luckily I've got a complete NES collection myself. Don't know about you, but yeah, I've got a complete NES.
Yeah, I've got all the SNES games I could ever want loaded onto my SNES Mini.
Same for the SNES as well. And we done that just before all the lawsuits and stuff. Where ROM at that point in time though, ROMs were kind of it's not right, but it's like no one's really doing anything about it. They were just let it to be, and then they brought the SNES Mini out, and then about a year into that, they went, no, fuck these ROM sites, get everything off of them. So yeah, we also had some more news that I wanted to talk about before we get into the show. So, video game wise, Amy Hennig, she's the Uncharted lady, or am I wrong? She was also involved in the Star Wars project with the EA were doing. Remember the one they showed artwork off of? It looked really cool. It was like Coruscant, or was it Tatooine markets? I can't remember the photo, but
I can't remember what it was, but I don't think it was Coruscant. It wasn't.
I think it was Tatooine. Tatooine. Or Jakku, or any of the other 6 desert planets in Star Wars. It's just because George Lucas liked a foreign holiday. That's the only reason it was desert. We got a film in Egypt, guys. You don't. So her own studio, Skydance Media, who I think are the guys that took over Telltale stuff. Am I right there? They kind of took the license. No.
Skybound.
Oh, that's why I messed it up. So this is a completely different one. They basically said that it's going to be... It sounds almost like it's going to be in chapters, though. The way that this is written, but no details about what it is. They said it's going to be an action-adventure style game. So I'm excited. More Star Wars is good Star Wars, but the problem is EA lost the license recently, and that's why we're getting all these announcements. But none of these studios would have been allowed to start working these till the EA deal was done. So It's going to be a very dry time for Star Wars games, except for Fallen Order 2, which I'd imagine is this year, early next year at the latest, because that's the last game that EA was working on before the deal went. And I think the deal's not completely done. I think they've allowed them Fallen Order, and they'll probably still allow them Battlefront. They're not going to take that off them because two's well loved now. But the problem is they weren't working in Battlefront 3 because they've got so many problems with Battlefield 2042. So after Fallen Order 2 drops, we're going to have literally nothing bar fire some mobile ports out. I guarantee you next year's going to be full of Star Wars mobile crap games. Like, because the mobile games Star Wars are always crap. They brought out one that was really interesting. It lasted 3 months and then they shut the servers down. It was obviously too expensive for them to run. But it's such a shame for me because I was thinking back, because this will lead into what I've been playing actually, and we can jump back to news before we talk about Elden Ring. So I was playing The Force Unleashed and I was speaking to you about it, and me and you were both in agreement that there's not a better game than The Force Unleashed 1, like Star Wars wise. The way the Force felt in that game, the story, everything, the way it felt. And it was the last game, Force Unleashed 2 was before the acquisition. And if you're a long time listener of this show, you'll know how pissed off I was at the time. They just went, everything's cancelled except Clone Wars and the movies. What? Yeah. Why? Just leave that in. Like, they could have still fit Rebels around it. Like, I'm going to be doing an episode on that for another show anyway, but like, everybody's argument is that Starkiller was too powerful, right? So if you've never played Force Unleashed, get it. It's coming to Switch soon, maybe today. I don't know. It's out soon, and it's the Wii version. I've never played the Wii version, so I'm looking forward to it because the Wii version had a 2-player mode. It also had 2 extra levels that the other one's never seen. And I'm like, yeah, I need to play this. And it was back in the time where it wasn't just a port of the main console game. By main console, I mean PS3, 360. Yeah. It was made by its own developer. Yeah. And that was a good time in gaming when the Wii got its own versions of Call of Duty. So it was based for the system strength. So I'm like, I can't wait for this game. So Force Unleashed basically tells a story that was unexplored at the time between episode 3 and 4 during the Great Jedi Purge. Darth Vader goes to Kashyyyk, and he senses a strong Jedi, and he kills him, and he says, no, I can still feel it, and a kid grabs the lightsaber off of Darth Vader. Vader kills the stormtroopers with him, and he takes the boy, and it turns out he's training the boy, and it makes so much sense, because the rule of 2 for the Sith is you always try and overthrow your master, so Vader was building up this kid to overthrow the master, but then it turns out that the Emperor was masterminding the whole thing, and Vader turned on him, and he ended up going back to the Jedi that he blinded after trying to help Vader kill all the Jedis, and he trained him. General Master Ram Kota, if you're asking. But like, Starkiller was such a cool character. He's played by Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer loves the character. Dave Filoni, who made Star Wars Rebels, nearly brought him back as an Inquisitor, but he said, oh, we might need to dumb down his powers. Why? And the argument is because he shouldn't be stronger than Vader. What? I think Kylo Ren showed stronger powers than Vader. Like, once Anakin was in the suit, his powers were subdued, right? Yeah. Kylo Ren and Rey fought over a bloody transport ship in the sky in Rise of Skywalker. They were doing Starkiller style stuff. I don't think that... I'm going to go more in depth in this, but this has really pissed me off the last few days when I've been working out this video. I don't think that that's a good enough reason. Why can't he be more powerful than Vader? It doesn't mean Vader's not the chosen one. It didn't say anywhere that he's going to be the best Force guy in the world ever. No exceptions. It didn't. The prophecy never said that. It just said the prophecy is that the chosen one will bring balance to the Force. He did, but people argue it was Leia. But like, he did, right? So why can't Starkiller be more powerful? He might be worse at a lightsaber than him. Do you know what I mean? If you read the book, right, which is the actual story, the game took some liberties with the powers that he had. Like, you know how everyone remembers the scene, and it was shit. It looked cool in the trailers, but it was annoying just holding the sticks different directions to pull the Star Destroyer out of the sky. Cool in concept, but really boring to play. So in the game, it makes it feel as if he's just grabbed this out of space and crashed it. But in the novels, which always expand in the story and give you more context, the Star Destroyer was already shot down from the engines, and it was coming down. He just directed it further into the ground. So why can't we have that Starkiller? Like, just go with the novel version, maybe a slight rewrite. And they're like, oh, there's not enough time. I'm like, not enough time? If we would have heard about him. If Vader kept him a secret, no one would have heard about him. If he didn't even tell the Emperor, no one would have known. They can give him one of the Inquisitor masks. You've seen it obviously in Rebels and stuff. They had the cool sort of like almost the Death Star gunner mask, you know, they're kind of pointy with red eyes. And then have him show up a few times. Like, I don't think he'll be in Kenobi. I don't think it'll happen. But I don't see why he can't be. I don't see, even if they gave him all his big Force powers, right? Why can't he be better at the Force? Doesn't mean that he's stronger than Vader. Like, Vader could have a better connection to the Force. He could be better with a lightsaber, which he is. And Starkiller could still do these cool feats. So I really hate the fact that he was just totally written out, and it looks like they're not going to use him.
With him, like, I've never finished the second game because I didn't like it. What happens to him at the end?
Nothing. It didn't end properly because remember the plug get pulled because of the Disney. They just said, hurry up and finish it, get it out.
Right.
So I haven't played the second one as much as the first because that's not Starkiller. The second one's a clone of Starkiller. Like,
okay.
So it's not actual Starkiller. Basically, the game starts on Camino, and you wake up, and you're like, you have all your memories. and you keep getting flashes of Vader killing you, because obviously in the first game, spoilers for a 10-20-year-old game, Vader kills you, or the Emperor kills you, sorry, and you become a sacrifice for, and a symbol, like a martyr for the Rebel Alliance being formed, and your family crest is the Rebel Alliance's motto. And I'm like, they could still work that in somehow. So in the second one, because then they had two what ifs, you know, like if he killed the Emperor, he became like Darth Vader's helper.
Wasn't there two
DLCs.
No, wasn't there two endings as well for it?
Yeah, there was two endings. You could, at the last level of the game, you can kill Vader or the Emperor, and the good endings kill the Emperor, and then basically the Emperor kills you, sort of thing. But if you choose to kill Vader, you become the Emperor's new servant, and that's where the DLC went. And you're playing as this evil version of Starkiller, and you have to go to like Hoth and kill Luke, and you have to go and kill Obi-Wan before he leaves Tatooine. Like, it's really cool. I've never played DLCs for the second one. I've played that game one time. Even though that looks a lot better these days than the first one, the Force powers are cooler. It's such a shame that game like got rushed out so quickly. It's just funny they had the DLC ready. Like, it's funny, but that was been the start of let's just make this at the same time and sell it to them afterwards. But in the second one, I don't really count it much. It's a fun game to play, but he's a clone. Like Vader made a clone of him on Camino, and he's got the memories, and he's got two lightsabers in that one, which is quite cool. But I think at the end of it, as far as I remember, you're still alive. As far as the clone of Starkiller's still alive.
So how does he have force powers if he's a clone? Like, how does that work?
They never explain it, because in canon but they're getting there, because remember Grogu was taken, and they have made a clone with force powers. You've seen Rise of Skywalker. Palpatine was a clone in that, and he had force powers. Palpatine at the end of Rise of Skywalker was a clone created, and on Exegol, and it looks like they're trying to tie in Grogu where Grogu was, that they were experimenting, because remember the Doctor was, let me see the child, and they had the Doctor that wanted to take his blood and stuff. I think they'd figured it out, so yeah, it's possible. Just do it. Just do a slight. Don't make the games canon. Just take the Starkiller character, make him Vader's secret apprentice, make it Sam Witwer.
So Grogu could just be a clone of Yoda then?
Well, he could be, but I don't think he is. I think he's Yoda and Yaddle's son. I think that's why Yaddle disappeared after it. Was she in Attack of the Clones? I don't think so.
She was in one movie for about 2 seconds.
She was still in it. She still exists. She's still a character. Yeah. So I think she was carrying Yoda's chair. No, actually, it can't be, because Grogu escaped the Jedi Temple that Anakin destroyed. So unless she left after she had the kid. Just went to Yoda. Dear Yoda, I'm off. Didn't want the baby.
Laters, bro.
I hate him. Here you go. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know the thing is, like, I don't know how they're going to come around with naming the species. I know Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are in contact with George Lucas. It shows in what they've made. But, like, he never gave Yoda species a name ever, like, anywhere. And he always said, because remember the old canon was like Lucas approved canon as long as it didn't interfere with anything else, and then just loose canon, like, kind of like, that's just almost fan fiction, but it's approved to have the Star Wars name. Well, in all of them, his rule was, like, you can't name Yoda species. There might have been a couple that did have a name, but they were never, like, official names, sort of thing, because the G canon, which was George canon, it was called, like, that was the highest level of canon without being a movie, because they used to have the tiers, and Force Unleashed was one of the first video games to be classified as G canon. That's why everyone was like, George has worked on it, and then, like, showed you the behind the scenes, and George was at the studio approving, saying this should happen, like, so cool. So I've been playing the Force Unleashed, such a good game. I also managed to get a limited run pre-order of the Master Edition. I absolutely had to, because it's my favourite Star Wars game of all time, and he's one of my favourite Star Wars characters of all time, and the only merchandise of this character is, there's 8 figures of them that were released, and at least 6 of them were only in Toys R Us exclusive packs that I'd never seen over here, and they're stupid prices now, or they're all messed up. Then they released a Black Series figure. I remember I got them in Tesco's randomly. I managed to snipe them. I've got one figure of Galen Marek, Starkiller. I've got both the books, I've got both the novels, but I lack on merchandise for Force Unleashed. And then when they said this is coming out, now the cool thing about this is very seldom comes along a special edition where I'm like, I want everything in that. And then this comes along, and they've got a replica lightsaber hilt. They've got Starkiller's lightsaber. Now, the only version of that was officially released was the plastic shitty, already, you know, the ones that are already half extended that you flick out? One of those that change colour, and that was it. So the fact that we're getting a metal replica, we're also getting a Jedi holocron in a cube.
It's not like a full one, though, is it? It's
No, it's like a smaller one. Yeah, obviously it is. But still, even having that, that's awesome to me. It's going to my desk at my mum's, and so is the Jedi holocron. And there's like art cards and all this cool sort of stuff, like concept art and stuff. And I'm really into that. Like I've watched documentaries about these and stuff even before I brought back Rebels Cast UK. I love the game, so I couldn't not. So I can't wait. I can't wait for that to come out. I'll wait for my physical version. But apart from that, I haven't really played too much. I played Boreal Tenebre for the XboxHub.com. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I told you this when you asked me what I'm playing. I'm like, I don't know the name. My review's up on the Xbox Hub if you want to check it out. It was kind of like a low poly, kind of almost reminded me of Broken Sword mixed with Final Fantasy's menu system was completely ripped off because it was the same text and everything, and almost Silent Hill, Resident Evil kind of vibes to it. It was quite short. It was weird. It was like, it was good. I didn't hate it. It was really good, but it's not something that I would have honestly went out and got myself. But now that I've played it, I'm happy I did. Boreal Tenebre. I don't know how to even pronounce it. But it was quite creepy. It was weird. It was like, the way I described it was like a lucid dream low poly version of an Aphex Twin video. Strange thing, man. It was creepy. It was a creepy game to play. So I played that through, like I said, xboxhub.com is where I write for. Apart from that, I've been working on Star Wars stuff, because if anybody's listening used to hear Rebels Cast UK, I have brought it back. I haven't got around to recording an audio podcast yet, which is technically the easier version of doing the podcast. It is back up on feeds. I have got access to it all, but I've made a new YouTube. Search for Star Wars Rebels Cast UK, you'll find it, and it's on TikTok as well. Done a couple of videos for that. Like, one of them is really good. Well, they're all good. I should be selling it good, but I really like my 8 things that I wouldn't miss from Star Wars video. Check that out if you can. Apart from that, like, I haven't really played anything. Like, I've literally played nothing. I played Lego Star Wars, tell you that, because I'm working my way through it. Each area, like, there's 23 planets, and you can go to the space of each planet. Each planet above them's got like a brick comet that you have to shoot, bounty hunters that you have to chase down, which are fast and normal ships and annoying. They've got like space battles that you can go and take part in to like wipe out the Empire or the Rebellion. They've got I just found tonight as well, it's like I shot a golden ship, and it's like find all the golden ships in the galaxy. I'm like, as if this game needed more collectibles. Like, I've got like 305 of the blue bricks, right? Now I'm kind of glad, because remember, these games used to have like the red bricks, this brick, this type. These have just got kind of the blue bricks as the main sort of like thing, and they look like the holograms in Star Wars. And I've got 300, Andy, but that's out of like 1,000, like 1,156 just of them. Yeah. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm just chipping away at bits that I'm finding fun. And the cool thing is, a lot of the side quests that I'm picking up, because I left them all to the end, are bounty missions. So it's like, I need you to go and get my droid back. I need you to go and get this guy and track him down. And because I'm playing as the Mando and sometimes Jango Fett, it's brilliant. Like, it just feels like I'm actually going on a bounty hunt. Like, I'm going off in Boba Fett starship, or I'm going off in like the Razor's Crest, and I'm flying, chasing down this bounty.
They changed the name of it, didn't they?
Disney changed the name of Slave One officially to Boba Fett starship. I don't get. Right. Okay. I get it to a point. I get it. Slavery wasn't cool, but slave can be used in computer terms. Like, master and slave means.
What about wait? What about Slave Leia? Like, they've been marketing that for years.
No, not anymore. No, they changed that before. But she was a slave. She was Jabba's slave.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't just directly targeted towards Africans back then that were made into slaves. Not that I'm getting into this argument, but basically what I'm saying is, it was just a name used. Like, it wasn't like they dropped the N-word in the, like, you know, like, the word slave isn't exactly a derogatory term. It's an actual term of endearment. And like, not endearment. Wrong word to say. It's not a term of endearment at all. It's just a term used, but it's not always used for that sort of thing. Like, is Britney Spears' "Slave for You" still allowed, or is it banned now? Like,
yeah, that's still a real song. Like,
yep.
I mean, like Leia was a slave. That was the way to describe her.
She was.
I don't know why Slave One's called Slave One. Like, you might know.
I don't have a clue why it was called Slave One.
I don't know.
Maybe because it worked for Boba.
Was it even ever called that in the movies?
I don't know if it was actually
called that by name.
I don't know if it was called by name.
No, maybe not, because it might be fine to change the name for that. Like, but
that's like, I know that name, like the Millennium Falcon. Like, that's the name of the ship.
Yeah,
it's strange. One thing that annoyed me about Lego Star Wars is see the Escape from Camino part where Obi-Wan's fighting Django. The paint on the ship wasn't Django's paint, because seeing that movie when Django had it was silver and blue like his armor. It's only when Boba got it that he changed it to green, and in the game it's just Boba Fett's colours. So that, for all the good stuff this game does, that was like, that's really niggling me. That really niggled me, that when he flew off and done his boom, which is, as you know, the coolest sound effect in all movie history. Like, it's like, that's Boba Fett's version, that's not yours. Like, why couldn't you have put that version in when you've got like 8 versions of Luke Skywalker in the game? Like, why couldn't we have had just a different colour scheme for the ship? So if you're listening, guys, just fix that. They also patched out the Grogu glitch, which is really annoying, because it's more funny than anything, because basically what happens is, if you choose the Mandalorian and another character, you've got your 2 slots. You shouldn't have been able to do this, but you could go over to Grogu, who was technically an accessory character or a pet, because you can have pets with you. None of the pets it would work with, but see, because Grogu was automatically applied to the Mandalorian, you could swap him for another Mandalorian, and that would give you 3 characters. Then you could swap his Grogu for another Mandalorian. So I've got a video clip on my PlayStation I really need to get to uploading. This get me and like 20 Mandalorians just running about. So it was funny more than anything. Like, it didn't really do much for you. If you ever tried to do any of the puzzles, it actually got more difficult with all these guys bashing into you, because in this game it's got a big problem of you can't just ghost through the secondary character. They block your path. So see, if you're moving one of those giant blocks and they're behind it, you have to swap to them, move them out the road, swap back, and then push it in. It's so annoying. But I really loved the Lego game. I don't know if I'd finished it the last time, but I fully completed it now. Well, sorry, I've completed the story now, but the way I did it was I just pushed through the story missions and left every side quest that I could, unless it was like right in front of me. So now I'm going back and I'm really enjoying it, because I think if I'd went back and there wasn't as much content still, I wouldn't have been bothered. But I still don't get Disney's logic with, you have to play as this character. Like, you're giving me a game with 300 characters. Let me play the story with whatever one I want, as long as I can pay to unlock them. Like, I don't get it, because then I can go back and play any mission now, so it's not like I'm locked out. So why not just let me play as any character and just have a warning saying the cutscenes will feature the original characters?
It's because they want you to go back through and play it all again to get all the collectibles, so that you play the game for longer, so that you don't trade it in, so that there's no second-hand copies, or sell it so there's no second-hand copies around.
It's worked with me. This game's huge though, Andy. Like, playing through the campaigns is maybe, 15 to 20 hours. Say about that. I disagreed with PlayStation's official time. I don't think that's as accurate as like Xbox. So I was like, I've played this longer, because I definitely sunk like a couple of 5-hour nights into it, and it said I finished it in like 15, 16 hours. It was like low, and I'm like, no, it was longer than that. So
I think they might take out cutscene time in that,
and pause scenes, but I still don't. I still
maybe
think I played it longer than that. But anyway, regardless, my guesstimate is there's a good 20 hours if you just plough through the story. I think if you're doing the side stuff, it adds at least it doubles that time minimum. Yeah. Because you've got like pod races, you've got ship races, you've got delivery quests, you've got like obviously all your collectathons on the planets themselves, like breaking the bricks, unlocking all the characters counts, unlocking all the ship counts, unlocking all your droids counts, doing every collectible on top of that as well. Like, you've got artifacts to find, you've got like your blue bricks. So I've still got a long time with this game, I reckon, and I'm fine with that, because it looks great. It plays better than any other Lego game, because this is a fresh built engine, brand new, and compared to The Force Awakens, the last one, which was repetitive, dull, boring. The funny parts weren't even funny, and I got this when I loved that movie, and I still like the movie, but like, this just done it all good. It done it really good. I didn't even hate the Last Jedi part in it, which is amazing, but like, the whole game itself is brilliant. But the best part for me, and I would recommend doing it this way, play through your story, leave your side quests, and start as your favourite character. So I'm running about as like, sometimes I'll swap it to Darth Maul and Django, and sometimes I'll be the Mandalorian and Mace Windu, and it just depends who I'm in the mood to play with. I'll have to swap to droids now and then because obviously there's things that you need to open as the droids, but in general, like, I'm having so much fun. Like when the guy said my droid's gone crazy, you need to go and get him. And instead of just bringing him all the way back, because I'm a bounty hunter, I've got a collection droid that just takes him to the guy, and then it says, do you want to return to him? I'm like, yeah, just take me back. Anyway, I need to...
Can I play in this game as Kit Fisto?
Yes.
What about Wicket the Ewok?
Wicket's there, yeah.
Okay, that's me. Good game then.
Why would you choose those two? Captain Smiles and the Wet Dog?
I like Kit Fisto, he's cool.
Kit Fisto is cool. He's the happiest Jedi in the world. Remember he knocks over the robots, he's like... loves it. He just kills them with his smile.
Wicket's awesome. Like, you can't beat fucking Wicket.
I would beat Wicket with a stick. Stupid thing. Honestly, I don't like the Ewoks. But yeah, no, that's all I've really played, because obviously it's Star Wars is the new thing that it's not the new thing. I've just brought it back because I'm like, do you know what? I really want to do it, and I offered Yogi and Ross slots. Ross said maybe. Yogi didn't get back to me. I haven't spoke to Yogi since before I get married. It's fine. I think you're going to join me on a few of the shows for like Kenobi and stuff when it's out. It's like,
yeah, I'll do some bits and pieces here or there.
End of next month, because you were one of the guests on. You were almost on as many shows as Ross was originally. So
I don't know if I ever did. Did I ever do Rebels Cast?
Yeah, you did. You did at least a couple.
No. I don't think I did.
You did. You absolutely did. You came on and you spoke. You spoke about ones when we weren't doing just Clone Wars or Rebels. You did.
Right. I don't remember. I've done so many podcasts over the years. I have no idea what ones I've been
on. No, you did. You came on.
No.
I think you came on Starling City Radio as well.
Yeah, I've definitely been on. I definitely remember doing that one, and obviously the comic book one we did. We did a bunch of those, and the Project 42 that we did, the comic book one.
We only did one of those though.
No, Project 42 we did a few.
No, we did one.
And then we changed it. No, we did one of. No, we only did one of Comic Book 101.
Oh, did we? Which was a better name. Why didn't we stick to it? Yeah, Rebels Cast to the front of the battle, the 14th of October 2015. Rebels Cast is back. Master Yogi.
Oh, because we did Battlefront. Yeah, okay, yeah.
You were on with Yogi, because I would have been in my honeymoon. And surprisingly, after that, it never really came back.
I killed the show.
Ali and Yogi. I want to see how many episodes Ross was actually on. 1 so far. Yep. John Jackson Miller was a good episode. Trailer Trash Talk. 2. We've got 2. 3 with Ross. And you done 4. We've got 4. Force Awakens. Did Andy come on that? No. So. No, you might be right. You might have only been on 1. I was sure it was more, but no, you were only on 1 episode, but you were definitely on it anyway. But we're going to cover Kenobi like end of next month. It's, I think it's the 23rd. I could be wrong. It's a silly date anyway. Like, why not just bring it out May the 4th? Well, it's because it's Celebration that weekend, Star Wars Celebration. It makes sense. It's going to get a lot more. Going to get a lot more hype, and the Disney schedule's filled up. Anyway, there was other news before we move on to what you have played. Xenoblade 3 moved up from September to July, right? And that sucks for me because my plan was I've got to September, I'm going to get Xenoblade and finally finish it, and then I'm going to finish off Xenoblade 2 because I've played both. I've just not finished Xenoblade 2 fully. I'm like, I want to finish them because this combines them both and brings it all into one story and, you know, kind of refines it going forward. And then they say it's out in July, and I'm like, I'm not finishing 2 fucking RPGs of that length in 3 months with everything I've got going on. So that's cool, but do you know what that says to me? Because it's moved to July, Splatoon 3 is getting delayed. That's what that says to me.
Maybe. You
heard it here first if it's true. I just don't have a good feeling because we've heard not enough about Splatoon, and we're nearly at the end of April. We could hear about it in May and it could be out in June, like I've said before, but I've got a bad feeling about this. You can talk about the Sega big budget reboots, but I'll just list off the UK top 10 for last week. Number 10, we've got Animal Crossing. Must have been a sale. or an update. Number 9, GTA 5. Number 8, Elden Ring. Number 7, Kirby. Number 6, Mario Kart 8. Number 5, Pokemon Legends. Number 4, FIFA 22. Number 3, Horizon Forbidden West. Number 2, Gran Turismo 7. And number 1, it says new entry, but it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a row now for Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. But it'll drop off as well, like Elden Ring.
Do you know what? Do you know what the most interesting thing for me about that is, right? So like Kirby's dropped down to 7, and Elden Ring's dropped down to 8, right?
Yeah.
Horizon was 14, and it's up
Sale?
to 3.
Sale, maybe?
No, it's definitely not on sale. What it is people were waiting for Elden Ring. They went
Finishing
bought
Elden Ring.
finished it, and then sold it or whatever. And then they're like, okay, that's out the way now. Now I can play Horizon. Now I can
You're
play
right.
it.
You're absolutely right.
I'm in the exact same boat. Although I bought Horizon day 1 and then played it till Elden Ring came out. Then I bought Elden Ring. I have not touched Horizon once. I haven't even put it in the system one time since I've started playing Elden Ring. So I'd have been better just waiting to get Horizon until after I finished Elden Ring. But
The developers would have been better waiting to release Elden Ring. To release Horizon.
Yeah, to release Horizon, yeah.
They've done this
Should have
before,
been
and it
waiting.
released alongside
Yeah.
Zelda and Mass Effect. And like, whether you liked it better or not, Mass Effect and Zelda sold a lot better. And
Yeah. And like it seems to be that's what's happened with Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring sold amazing, and now it's like it's starting to drop down now.
it's a single player game. Do you know what I mean? Say what you like about the co-op, but it's a single player game.
Yeah, oh definitely.
But yeah, Lego.
I want to talk about the Sega news, right? Because this Sega news is cool. In fact, we're talking about Elden Ring. Did you play? You didn't play anything else, no?
No.
Because I can just touch on Elden Ring now, and then we can finish up with the Sega stuff. Because I've got a question to ask you about it. So Elden Ring, I've just been pouring all my gaming time into this. Like I'm well over 100 hours now. I think I'm 108 hours in. I'm level 92 now. Level 92, and this game is like unbelievable. The coolest thing about this game is, right, like this is a similar amount of time to what I put into Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Odyssey, like 100 hours, right? So I'm used to like putting this amount of time into like a big kind of open world game. But in those games, I got fucking bored so many times. Like, and there was so many times like, this is tedious, the mission's the same, blah blah blah. Like, Elden Ring, I've never been bored for 1 second, not 1 single second. I'm always like, right, cool, I need to go and do this. And I'll have an objective in my head, and it's not like there's no waypoint telling me like you must go here. Not really. I know it kind of guides you with them like arrow things, but that's a very vague like you should go in like over that way maybe. Like, but you can go any way you want, but like try going that way. But yeah, like the beauty of the game is just that it's so open. You can just go anywhere, and there's fucking stuff everywhere. Like, I'm still coming across. I'm over 100 hours into the game, and I'm still coming across regular enemies that I've never seen before, and still finding new areas and like all sorts of shit. And some of the bosses, they kind of repeat them. So like they'll have a new version of like a boss later on that's the same as one you fought earlier on, or sometimes they might make you fight 2 of them, and sometimes they bring them back as like a regular enemy. But that's fine. There's so much variety, and like some of the designs are so fucking cool that you don't really mind that. Especially, it's funny because even so, like at the beginning of the game, there's a guy you can fight called the Tree Sentinel, and he's a big, shiny, golden horse knight guy, and you're like, oh, that's cool. This must be a guy I can just go and fight. And when you go to fight him, it's like, oh, he's a beasting boss, and he fucking kills everybody like the first time, pretty much, unless you're amazing at Souls games. But you come back later on, you can fight him, you can take him down once you've leveled up a bit. So he's in the game at the beginning, and then later on in the game, there's more of him. So there's one where you have to fight 2 of them, which is one that's the exact same, and then there's another one that's got instead of a shield, he's got a torch, like a fiery torch. So you can fight 2 of them. I just beat those last night at like level 90. Because they were, taking 2 of them on at once, oh my fucking god, like so much harder than just fighting one guy. Like, it's insane because they do so much damage to you. It's mental. And I thought, I think I told you about it before. Like, I've been fighting the guy, the Draconic Tree Sentinel, which is basically, he's a Tree Sentinel. He's similar to the first guy you fight, but he's much harder because in his second phase he's got red lightning powers. So he's got like a big axe thing, and he fucking puts red lightning on it, and he's got red lightning area of effect attacks and all this red lightning everywhere, and he was just destroying me so many times. So he was the hardest boss that I've fought since Margit. So Margit took me 120 tries, and eventually I beat him. This guy took me about 60. The 60 tries, and eventually I beat him. Maybe just under 60, but somewhere between 50 and 60. And eventually I beat him. And none of the other bosses I fought after him, like I've had anyone needed many problems with. So like after him, you kind of get into the big city, and you can go exploring there, and it looks cool. And there's these sort of snowman looking enemies that have little bugles, and they shoot bubbles at you. It's fucking crazy. Like, what is this? It's a snowman with a bugle that plays music and it shoots bubbles at you. Like, what? It's so bizarre. But yeah, I beat what 2-3 bosses in that area. So there's one called Godfrey, who's like a shade. Beat him okay. And then I beat the sort of main boss of that area. What's his name again? Fuck, I forgot his name. Morgott. Beat Morgott, which is a harder version of Margit, basically. But I beat him in like 4 tries. Like, it was much easier. Obviously, I've went and leveled up a lot now. Like, I'm still using my Wolverine claws, but I've got to plus 19 now. They're fucking incredible for causing bleed damage. And after I beat him, went and explored. And what the one issue that I've got with the game, right? One issue that I've got with the game, I discovered only this week when playing, because I kept going back to dungeons where I'm like, oh, I don't think I beat the boss in that dungeon. I'll go back and I'll go and try and beat him now. So then I'll go back to the dungeon. I'll go in, walk through the dungeon, get to the boss room, and then the boss room's empty, and I'm like, oh right, I've already beaten it. So that's the one issue that I have with the game, because it doesn't give you any indication that you've beaten the boss or cleared the dungeon or not on the map. I wish it would do something to tell you. So what I've started doing now is if I go to the area and there's a boss there that I can still fight, I'll go in, I'll try and fight it. If I still can't beat it, then I'll just put a marker down. And I realised that I should have fucking done this at the beginning of the game when I was playing through, when I was coming across guys that were like, oh, this is way too hard, I can't do it right now. I should have put markers on it then, because now I'm having to go back to like every fucking dungeon and put a marker down. I also wish they had different coloured markers. That would make it easier, because you could have like a green one for clear and a red one for like still a boss here or whatever. But like I started to really enjoy the story as well, because although it's difficult to find it, especially at the beginning, it's definitely in there, and like some really involved side quests. So like there's one where like you meet this witch lady kind of near-ish to the beginning of the game, and she's got like a little bit of dialogue, and then you eventually can find her later on in a tower. She's called Rani. And she then sends you on this mission, and you have to go and kill one of the big bosses, Radan, who I've killed. You have to kill him, and then after you've killed him, he opens up there's a big giant crater opens up down to this like hidden city underground called Nokron. So you then have to.
Is he a man?
Radan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a sort of demigod type guy almost.
Just a guy, so he's Man of Redan.
Man of Redan. He rides. It's funny. Look up a picture of him. So he's a huge, big hulking guy, right? But he rides a normal sized horse. Honestly, like he rides this tiny horse, but like it looks tiny compared to him, but it's actually a normal sized horse. And what he's done is he's learned all these gravity spells so that he can still ride his horse, because he loved his horse so much. Because obviously he got too big and too powerful to ride his tiny horse, because he was crushing it, but he still rides it around. It looks the horse looks miserable as fuck, because it's still being crushed by this giant man right on top of it. It's ridiculous. But it looks so funny. Do you know the horse is so small? See, when I was actually fighting him, I did not know
That's
he
stupid.
was on a horse.
That's stupid.
I didn't know he was on a horse.
Looks like his dick.
But he's on a tiny horse. Like, it's so weird. But there's tons of shit like that. But this Rani questline. So, like,
do you know what he looks like? He looks like Ganondorf with his red hair and his tusks.
So after you kill him, you can buy his armor for one of the vendors. So that's what I wear. I wear his armor, and I've got his fucking big headdress on and everything. I'm like, I killed Radan. I am Radan. But after you kill him, you can go down into the city Nokron, and you have to find this magic blade in the down in a chest in there, and bring it back to this lady, and then she opens up the next part of the quest line where you have to go and fight this guy called Blyde. Well, it's not actually him. It's like a shade of him because he's like the big wolf guy. You know, the guy that you snap the fingers for. That guy, his name's Blade, and he's involved with this quest line because he's like a follower of Rani. Like, this is a side quest. All this is a side quest. It's insane, and it's so involved. And like, there is actually story in this game if you find it. You don't have to find it, but it's fucking cool. Like, I love this. This is way better than any fucking Assassin's Creed side quest. Way better.
Technically, there is story in the Dark Souls games as well, but again, you have to look for it.
Yeah, I think it's better in this one because there is stuff that's like properly voice acting and everything. Like Dark Souls, it's always just like reading things. For me, I always found, and you always had to go and read amulets or like bits of paper that you found and things like that. And there is a wee bit of that in this, but there's much more voice acting in it, I feel.
I forgot I was getting on quite well with Dark Souls until we mentioned it there. I need to go back to it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'll go back to Dark Souls after I finish Elden Ring. Just because like I've loved this game so much that like I want to put more time into these type of games. Like, this game is fucking unbelievable. Like, it's so good. It's better than Bloodborne. It's better than just about any other game ever made. Like, it's so amazing. Like, I love it so much. 100 hours in, not being bored for 1 second. Not 1 second. It's so good.
I'm glad you like it.
But it seems to be like most people that have bought it seem to like it. It seems to be that way.
I don't think most. I think it's kind of Marmite. I think it's like a maybe 60% like it, 40% I like.
See, do you know what the problem is with the 40% people, right? They just haven't found a build that they like playing this playstyle.
No, I just didn't enjoy the game. I've explained why I didn't like it.
You could play as a Jedi and you would love it.
Nah, too much effort. Just let me start as a Jedi. Plus, Fallen Order 2 will be out before I can dance with that.
But yeah, it's an unbelievable game, and like it's gonna be like top 3 games of all time for me. Like, until a new one comes out.
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't think it beats Final Fantasy 7, but like it's like
it's not obvious.
It's like between Sonic 2 and this is like number 2 now.
Fuck off.
Oh,
Sonic 2 is better than this game.
I'm going to replay Sonic 2, but it's like this or that.
Sonic 2 is not even my favourite Sonic game, as you know, and Sonic 2 I would say is better than Elden. The music.
You haven't played 100 hours of
I don't give a shit. You haven't played 100 hours of Sonic 2.
I know. So I've enjoyed Elden Ring more than Sonic 2 for sure.
Nah.
But yeah, like Elden Ring is amazing. I'll still be playing it for at least another few weeks yet, I would imagine. Although I definitely sense I'm getting to the end because I think I've got one more area to unlock on the map. Because I'm up in the mountains up north now, like above the city, and there seems to be one map chunk missing now, basically, that I need to find.
I thought the map was really cool. The fact that it's so deceptive, like it feels big in the first place, and then you realise, because it gives you a black screen as if the borders are where the map goes to, and you're like, oh well, explore here, and then it zooms out. And then it zooms out, and then it zooms out. And I've never seen that done in a game before that way. That's really cool way. Although, I still stand by, when you go to an area, it should fucking unlock it on the map. Shouldn't have to find these fucking shitty pieces of map in each area to show it all. Because what happens is, if you go to an area and you've not discovered the map piece, you don't see the things on the area, you just see the path. That's it.
Yeah. I do agree. I think that they should have done away with map pieces, not had them at all, and just had you organically explore around. And like fog of war the rest of it, and just have you wander around. And it'd be so much cooler. Mm-hmm. And I hope they do that for the next one. Fuck map pieces, especially because some of them are just like random places. Like one of them is in like a chest in like a dungeon somewhere. You're like, most of the other ones are fine. Like they're sitting out, but they're not always. You don't like see if you don't look in the exact.
They're not obvious.
Moment, like they are once you have the map. Like they're clearly it's there because there's a little thing appears, but before you have the map, it's not. It's stupid. But yeah, I would do away with the map completely. Not do away with the map. Do away with the map pieces and just have you totally organically explore the map, because that way you're going to explore way more of it. I think just to see what's down like that way.
Yeah, like there's games that's done it before, but it's all greyed out until you visit there.
It's basically like you have in StarCraft or like Warcraft or that, where it's like there's black on the map and you can go over there and then it like pops back up. Like,
exactly.
Like I would like that so much more, but anyway, the news story that I want to talk about was right. So supposedly Sega is rebooting some of their sort of older franchises. So
Okay.
Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. These are supposed to get
Yeah.
big budget reboots in the work, and this is part of their Super Game project, right? Super Game project they've been working on for a couple of years with Microsoft Cloud Streaming. So this is through like Azure Cloud Streaming. They've partnered with Microsoft to do it. Now, the interesting thing to me about these is that so they've got they're doing it in they seem to be doing it in the Fortnite model is what they're going for, right? Which I'm not so keen on, like because that would be free to play, some kind of battle pass. I'm not so keen on that. I'd rather they just made new games of these, but okay, I get it. I'll be happy to play Crazy Taxi in whatever form it comes in, as long as it's not a fucking mobile game.
As long as it's got Offspring.
I think as long as it has Offspring on it, yeah. I mean, it probably won't be the original songs. It'd probably be newer songs.
Yeah, but it goes hand in hand. It would be like, but then they should, because like Tony Hawk, what if they said do a new one and we want your original two that were in it? Because like Tony Hawk's wouldn't be the same without like Goldfinger Superman and CKY in it and stuff, you know. So when they redone Tony Hawk, they went for the same music as much as they could. And I think they got like 96% of the original soundtrack and then added new bands. But Crazy Taxi doesn't work without it. Like I've played it in the Xbox, it just doesn't sound right without yeah. It just doesn't work. It's some things go hand in hand, like, and that's some of them. But what was it you wanted to know about it?
So they're doing a first-person shooter as well, right? So I don't know what that would be like. Sega first-person shooter. Not sure.
No thanks.
But what Sega franchise would you want them to reboot if you could pick anyone?
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe, yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
Because Streets of Rage is ongoing.
How do you think that would fit into their super game thing?
Well, it's a good game. So
no, but they want to do like a games as service basically. That's what they want.
One level's free, buy the rest.
Like that's a,
Do it 3D properly this time. Like you've got plenty. Like do a 3D one easily. Do an MMO style thing where you kind of create a character and say you imagine the three guys in Golden Axe have fallen out. So you've got the dwarf, you've got the warrior, and you've got the woman, and you basically have to pick a faction and come together, and you've got the battles where all three of those are your faction leaders.
I know how you do it. You do Golden Axe, but it's Elden Ring.
You could, yeah, something like that.
You pick your character. You go the axe battler. You go the dwarf guy or the
woman.
lady.
Yeah.
And then you could rest at campfires, and you have the squirrely guys, the thief guys.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
And you have all the music from Golden Axe.
Big orchestratic.
Yeah.
Orchestratic.
And you have big fucking bosses with ham. In fact, they already made.
They already had that.
From Software already made this.
The big
they made
hammer.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring is Golden Axe 3D.
Well, you know what I mean. Like I would instantly, if Golden Axe played exactly like that, I would instantly prefer Golden Axe because of the license. Like it's nobody. I love Golden Axe.
Maybe they'll do DLC for Elden Ring where you can play as Axe Battler.
They won't because it's not Sega. But anyway, like Golden Axe is the one that I would instantly sprang to mind without hesitation. There, other Sega games. There used to be a game called Transbot that I really liked that was a shmup, and I don't like shmups, and you could it was basically Transformers without a license. I'm sure it was called Transformers in some countries, but obviously where Transformers had their license at the time, it wasn't allowed. It was on the Master System, it was pretty short. So Transbot's another one. Power Stone probably. Remember the Smash Brothers kind of thing?
Yeah.
That. Virtua Cop, obviously. Give me a light gun, let me play Virtua Cop.
See those though, they should bring that back for VR. Like they should make it.
House of the Dead's out on the Switch now, but it's like, why did you not bundle that up with a plastic light gun? I would have bought that. Like if I could have put my Joy-Con in a gun, that's a no-brainer to me. It's like you sold me fucking golf clubs with Mario Golf, but you can't make a plastic gun that we had on the Wii.
I'm pretty sure you can buy a plastic gun of your own if you wanted.
I've not looked up, but why did we not have that as a package? Like, makes sense to me. I'd have bought House of the Dead if that was the case, but I've no interest in it.
There's definitely plastic guns out there because there's a game called Chicken Shoot that comes with a gun, like a plastic gun.
Yeah, so why couldn't they have done it for House of the Dead? That's what I don't get.
Could have, but it's more manufacturing costs, isn't it? Like for the plastic. And
no,
shit.
It's not. Just use the wee ones and just put a different holder in it.
But do you know the game I would bring back? Burning Rangers. Imagine Fortnite world, but your objective is to put out fucking fires.
See, I don't think you really mean that, because you went on and on about your dream game. I found your dream game on Steam and I bought you it for your birthday like 2 years ago now, and you've not even played it.
I've not played it. No.
It's meant to be really good. That game, by the way, that game's meant to be good. It reviewed well.
I'll play it one day.
You should.
I will.
And stream it so I can see it. You need to stream it.
Because he wants proof. No, but Burning Rangers, you could do that as like a live service game where like big fires pop up and people jump in and they have to all work together to put the fire out.
As long as they keep Sonic away, I couldn't really care less. Like,
yeah. Oh, do you know what? I did play a Sonic game this week, actually, because they put out an official Sonic tie-in on Roblox.
Shit, I forgot I've not got my movie Knuckles on my Sonic Dash.
Did you see
the speed thing? Yeah, the speed
thing.
Please still be here. Don't be the ill. Don't be the ill. Andy, cross your fingers, your toes, and everything else. That movie Knuckles is still available, because I got movie Sonic finally, because I missed him the last time. I only get baby Sonic. Oh, it's still Knuckles. I've got 2 days. I need to start playing just now. Please continue. Thank you for reminding me.
The speed thing. Basically, it's actually really stupid, because you start off playing as Roblox. Your Roblox character, whatever he is, and you're in like a green hill zone basically. So it's all like green.
Like they did with Minecraft. They did this with Minecraft.
Right. I don't know. I don't play.
I've got Sonic Minecraft. Like, loves it.
Yeah, there's hundreds of like Roblox levels and stuff like that. There's probably Sonic made ones already, but this is an official one, officially licensed by Sega for like Roblox things. So like the world looks good actually, and looks like a green hill zone, like all 3D and stuff. And then you're playing as your character, who's the Roblox guy. And
Roblox plays like ass.
It doesn't control well or anything, but it's so slow, because the idea is that you start off really slow and then you go and collect gems, not rings, gems, to speed up. So then you collect a bunch of gems and then you sort of like level up, and every time you like level up, you get a little bit faster, and eventually you're running fast. So like when you start though, it's fucking like treacle, like so treacle. It's
like Sonic 4.
Slower than that. Every Roblox game has this kind of grind to it, where like you start off shit and then like you have to grind through a few hours and then you start to get faster.
I hate it. I've tried it with Lexi. It's shit. She even doesn't like it.
I like some of the things in it. Like somebody made a really good Squid Game, and inside it that was really fun. But most of the other ones are just like this grind, and this is exactly what the Sonic one is. It's a grind. You start off fucking super slow and you have to collect hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gems, and there are rings in it, which I don't understand. Some of them are gems, and most of them are gems, and then some of them are rings. For some reason, why just make them all rings?
See, Minecraft Sonic was similar. It like loop de loops, and it kind of had a speed booster there to boost you through. But the rest of the time, you move as fast as a Minecraft character, but you're Sonic.
So in this one, obviously, you speed up, and you're not playing as Sonic. You can unlock Sonic and Tails, and maybe Knuckles later in the game, but you have to like level up quite a lot to be able to get up to them. Because at the moment, I can't. In fact, I just managed to go around one loop de loop. But I can't go around all of them. Some of them you need to be faster. So like when you start off the game, you like get a tiny bit up it, and then you have to come back down, and then you can get fast and you get a little bit up, and then eventually you get so fast that you can go all the way around it. But it's kind of mind numbing. Like the only good thing about it is that it looks like a Sonic world in 3D, but it doesn't even control as well as Sonic R, Ali. Sonic R. And Sonic R doesn't control that well.
No, it doesn't.
Like, I love that game, but it does not control well, and this game does not control as well as Sonic R. So that's the level of this.
It's not exactly a good thing. So I forgot, obviously I've played Sonic Dash. Like, Sonic Dash is the only endless runner to me that's worth playing, makes sense, and it's been going for years. And I've unlocked characters over the years, and like when the first movie came out, they done Baby Sonic, Long Claw, and Teen Sonic or Adult Sonic, and I missed the Adult Sonic event because it's easy enough to forget, because I don't play these games religiously. I don't go on every day. I play it maybe I'll put my phone on because I can't be bothered playing anything else. And Sonic Dash is fun. Like, it plays really well, it looks really good. But yeah, they've added obviously Tails this time and Movie Knuckles. So I've got finally my teen Sonic, because I really like the look of that Sonic, and I like that model over like the classic Sonic or the modern Sonic in this. I don't know why I like it, but I didn't want to miss movie Knuckles because I'm like, there's no guarantee he's going to come back. Longclaw, I'm not really bothered if I miss her because no one wants. Longclaw's the owl that was Sonic's like mum in the first movie.
Okay.
So I do want to unlock her because I want to see how her character looks when she's fucking running, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I never unlocked it the last time. But I mean, the game's fine, but it does become repetitive. It's just when these characters come out, you have to collect like 200 emblems by just replaying the stages, which is fine. But I mean, I hate the fact that it's timed. And then I even measured him, said, is there any chance that you could put it on the store for sale? Because I've missed it by a day because I was maybe on holiday or I had a kid being born, because I've always got kids being born. And they said no, they're not putting it out for sale, it was promotional. And I'm like, I'm never going to get Movie Sonic. And then I thought, they're going to do it this time round, but it's going to be a completely different model. But luckily, it's the exact same one, exact same name. So, and then they put it on the App Store, right? The Apple Arcade that I get as part of my subscription tier. And now Apple Arcade, you don't pay any in-app purchases. However, your progress doesn't transfer over from Sonic Dash. So I don't even want to open it, because if all the characters are unlocked, see, I do and I don't like that, because all the characters unlocked, cool, fine, great, but does it give you any reason to keep playing? Like when I got Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, all the characters were already there. I had nothing to unlock, so that takes away a part of the incentive for me, so I never bothered installing it. I'm still playing the free-to-play one at the moment. So I really do enjoy it. If you've never played Sonic Dash, just now is a really good time to play it, because obviously it's the movie event. I think Sonic comes back up again. So if you want, you've missed Tails, but if you want Knuckles, play within the next 2 days. If you want Longclaw, you need to play after 2 days, and then Sonic comes back after next week. It's like for the month it's at the cinema. So I've got a day and 14 hours to unlock Knuckles, but I will do it because I've got 178 out of 250 coins. So it's just a case of playing it. But
There was a glitch on the Xbox version of Roblox that meant in the Sonic game you weren't actually able to access any of the levels. It was only the hub world you could go into.
Right.
So after a while, like, you can, once you level up to a certain point, you can then go into, like, jump into some levels. I don't know what the levels are because I couldn't get into any of them.
All right.
Because there was a glitch on Xbox, so no one could access it at all. It's been patched now, supposedly, though, so that it does work. So I'll report back on what that's like next week. But I think it's like a smart crossover for like Sonic to do, because like the movie's out, there's no Sonic game out at the moment, so they might as well partner with like some big thing. Like obviously,
Do you know?
Sonic's not going to shoot guns, so he's not going into Fortnite.
Shadow will.
Shadow could, but he's not in the movie, so. Well, as far as I know, anyway, maybe he's in the post credits with a fucking gun. Oh my god, that would be so stupid.
What would be so stupid?
If Shadow was in the post credits with a gun, like that would be stupid. Fair enough if he's in it in the post credits, like himself, but not with a gun. That's just dumb.
Why? Knuckles, Shadow had guns and a motorbike.
Like, but it's
He's the ultimate life form. You faker. You're the faker, Sonic.
But I think it makes sense for them to partner with Roblox to do this type of thing, because Roblox is big with kids and they're trying to like get kids on board and excited for Sonic. So
Keanu Reeves should voice Shadow.
Yeah, why not?
Keanu Reeves also should be Darth Revan, because I was going to go on a Star Wars rant. I'll be quick. So they made Star Wars Visions, right? As you know.
Yep.
So Disney's thing was everything going forward from when they bought it in 2012, I think it was, maybe 13 or 14. Everything was going to be, it was 2014. Everything was going to be canon, right? But they've just made Visions and they've come out and said it's not canon. But
Yeah,
like
because
it's just
like,
stories.
It's what ifs, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically
So
what if.
why can't we have the old stuff back? Like, I just don't understand it.
It seems a bit dumb with the Visions, right, to make them not canon, because as far as I'm aware, right, I don't know, but
I haven't watched Visions.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're set in like totally different bits of the galaxy and like totally separate from the main story canon of Star Wars that we already know about.
Have you watched Visions?
No, but like from the trailers I've seen, like that seems to be what it is.
See, to me, do you know what it reminds me of? The Animatrix. It reminds me of the Animatrix, because they're all different.
Totally.
But I need to watch that. I'm probably going to cover it on Rebels Cast, but like I had no interest in it. I'm like, it's not canon. I'm not going to bother because I know what you're like with stuff that isn't really canon. You just say it doesn't count anymore. So I'm like, why would I watch it? But apparently there's
Venom. I like Venom.
Venom is canon. But like, there's apparently only there's apparently only 2 episodes of Visions that could fit in canon at the moment. So I'll need to watch them.
Venom is confirmed canon now because it's in the Morbius verse.
Venom, as I told you in the first place when I did it, never did anything to say that it wasn't canon. It never did anything to say otherwise, and you know that now that you've seen it. There was nothing that happened in it.
No, there wasn't, but it's definitely in not the Spider-Man universe. It's in a separate universe. It's in the Morbius verse.
Well, no, it's in a Spider-Man universe because they've confirmed Spider-Man for that universe, and I'm guessing that Spider-Man's going to be Andrew Garfield because there's no way they're not bringing him back with his popularity right now. Even though he should have been brought back anyway.
It's the Morbius verse anyway. It's not
Morbius verse.
Yeah, Morbius. Morbius.
Venomverse.
Morbius was offered the Nobel Peace Prize, and he gave it back. He did not take it.
It was the Venomverse.
He's the true hero. The Morbius verse.
No, it's the Venomverse.
I did see Morbius. It was alright. It's not as bad as people say it is. Except for the end credits. The end credits are terrible.
The thing I don't want to spoil it for people. Well, fuck it, I'll spoil it. Shit. I've seen most of it. I have no interest in it. Like, I didn't want to see Morbius anyway. He's not the best character. There's plenty of other Spider-Man.
Oh, he's not.
Like, why didn't they do the Craven movie first? That would have been cool and bring Spider-Man into it. Like,
do you know what's funny though? Like,
Venom works because Venom's one of the best characters ever.
Yeah. I didn't. I actually probably like the Morbius movie more, right? But
than Venom.
I mean, this movie, yeah, I would say so. Like, I thought this movie was better, but
fuck off.
It could be because I saw this in the cinema and like that's a better.
Tom Hardy is a better actor than Jared Leto. Every day of the week, he's better than Poe Dameron, who's kicking it about as Moon Knight just now, who doesn't Moon Knight is awful. He spends also going, I don't like it, stay out of my head, I don't want it. And then, like, he doesn't even come across as believable of a man who's hearing voices. Like, Tom Hardy does, but then sometimes I believe Tom Hardy might hear voices in real life, seeing him in some interviews.
Probably, yeah.
But no, Tom Hardy's great in that, and like, I think they wasted him in Spider-Man. I think he should have been the Lizard. He should have been in Lizard's place. If you had Tom Hardy on board to do a scene, you should have absolutely had him as what the Lizard did, because the Lizard added nothing to that movie. If you take the Lizard out of No Way Home, or whatever it's called, nothing would change in that film. Nothing. Doc Ock needs to be there. Electro and Goblin. Sandman to a point, but you can technically take out Sandman as well. But like, Lizard did nothing. He appeared. They
locked him in a fucking car.
He was in a van for most of it.
Maybe.
And then there was a couple of scenes on the crane, and then all of a sudden they've paid the actor money. Like, everyone should get a paycheck, but they did not need to pay the actor to appear for 2 seconds as like the Doc Connors. They could have just said the Lizard. But anyway. But Venom's good. Venom is a good film. Venom 2 is better. I like Carnage. Well, I like Cletus Cassidy. I think Carnage could have been slightly better. Personally. And I don't like the fact they've basically got rid of Carnage straight away. Carnage should have got away. I don't think he's going to be dead though. If they continue the Spider-Verse on...
No, the symbiote shit, like, it just needs a tiny sliver and it can regrow or whatever.
Yeah. It's a bit like... But it's the fact I wanted to see Tom Holland fight Tom Hardy. But now that there's a potential of Andrew Garfield coming back, because Tobey Maguire isn't coming back as far as I'm aware, but like Andrew Garfield wants to, he does, and the fans do. So it makes sense for Sony to get an agreement that Andrew Garfield's our Spider-Man. I could see them running 2 now, because Andrew Garfield against Tom Hardy, that would make more sense to me than Tom Holland. Just seems a wee bit too young for Eddie Brock to hate him. Do you know what I mean? Like, why does this old man hate me?
They might need to do it where Sony doesn't make Spider-Man movies, right?
But Spider-Man's in some of the movies.
Spider-Man's in the villain movies.
Yeah, I get that. Like they've got a villain verse basically, and the deal will be that Disney can use any of the Sony villains. Yeah. So they can't have the villains basically as their own movie, but they can use the villains in Spider-Man movies, and vice versa for Sony. That would make sense to me, actually. Yeah.
And that would be fine. I'd be cool with that. So then you could get cameos of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, like, fine. And then you could get cameos of like Jared Leto, Morbius, and Tom Holland ones.
Yeah, I would like to see Andrew Garfield. because of he looks a bit older than Tom Holland. Well, he is older than Tom Holland. He looks more like he would have an argument with Eddie Brock, like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Holland doesn't look like he would hold a candle to Tom Hardy at all.
No.
Where in the comics and stuff, he was roughly the same age, and he was always jealous of him. And I think with the comments Venom made in Venom 2 and No Way Home, Venom the symbiote doesn't like Spider-Man for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a story behind that as well. Like, they could easily do a Venomverse. They could easily do a Venomverse and stuff like that. So
You could even go back and like say that the Venom symbiote was on fucking
Toby.
Andrew Garfield at some point.
yeah. Oh, when we haven't seen it, no. But we would have heard them say that I fought a black alien as well. Because remember, he said I want to fight an alien. He was the only one that didn't fight an alien because Tom. That's what I think should lead into him fighting Venom, is because he said, "What's the craziest villains you fought?" And Tobey Maguire said, "I fought an alien that was made of black goo." And Tom Holland said, "Oh, I fought an alien too, but mine was purple and liked gems or stones or something." And Andrew Garfield says, "Oh, I wish I fought an alien. That's so cool." So that's the
Fucking not cool, man. Fuck that. Like, I'd run away.
But yeah,
I wish I'd fought the alien. I'm a mentalist.
I think the coolest thing they could do, because everyone's saying, "Oh, miniseries, please, with Andrew Garfield." Get Tobey Maguire on to do a 6-episode miniseries of his Spider-Man as like an older Spider-Man, and throw Andrew Garfield, like you said, as the cameo in Spider-Man in like the Craven movie and all the villain movies. That's what I would do. That would be a good way to keep both parties happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can keep using Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but you can't use villains in their own movies, and you can only use our villains in, like, say, Spider-Man movies, which makes sense because most of Spider-Man's back catalogue only deal with Spider-Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but we've got X-Men and everything to deal with, so I don't really think they're bothered at Spider-Man. And there'll probably be a thing where you can't have a Spider-Man cameo the year that Tom Holland's doing a Spider-Man movie, that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
They will. There'll be all these legal clauses.
Good, because that builds hype for the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, and the multiverse. People understand the multiverse now. They have done for a while. The games have done it years ago in 360. The cartoons done it years ago. Not everyone reads the comics, but now you've had it in the Miles Morales movie. Do you know what I mean? Now you've had it in. You've got a multiverse of madness. You had it in Loki. You had it in Spider-Man. People understand. Oh, there's more than one version of these guys. Cool.
Spider-Man made so much money. People fucking loved it.
It is just about... Did you see the interview with Tom Holland? I felt it was really nice where the guy was like, how do you feel that you're like, I think it's 20 or 30 million away from being the number one movie of all time? And he's like, nah, I think we've got quite a bit before that. And he says, no, you've got like, I think it's 30 million before you overtake Avatar as the best selling movie of all time. And if you remember, Avatar's ticket sales were inflated because of 3D at the time.
Yeah. Is it that close? Oh my god.
Yeah. Tom Holland's face was, he was like so happy.
Is it that? I didn't think it was that close.
This guy said it in the interview.
Hold on, let me find it out.
They've added Treasure Hunter Knuckles now as well. Oh. Ooh.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is.
Spider-Man's at 6. Is it number 6? Is it number 6?
Spider-Man.
Worldwide box office. Spider-Man is at 1.8 billion, which is 6th, behind Infinity War, Force Awakens, Titanic, Endgame, and Avatar. It's 1
Oh,
billion.
sorry. Listen to me. Listen. This is based on North American box office, which is all that counts to Americans. They don't give a shit. So basically, at the moment, as we're speaking, it's got till Monday. It collected the 1 million on Monday to push Avatar and its mighty 760.5 million in the North American box office down. So, No Way Home.
Still not number 1.
Worldwide, you're talking about, Andy, right?
No. In America, still not number 1.
What's number 1 in America?
It is Star Wars Force Awakens at 936 million in America.
So at the moment, and it's still in cinema, Spider-Man No Way Home in America has done 760 million. It will beat Star Wars.
Spider-Man's at 800. It's actually 804 million now.
Oh, sorry, that was last week. Yeah.
Up to date. Yeah, up to
So
date.
it's easily going to extend its cinema run, and it's going to push Force Awakens easily.
Still got 100 million to go, which is quite a lot, and it's still behind Endgame as well. It's 50 million behind Endgame.
Spider-Man will do it though. They will extend its cinema run the way that it's still getting seen because people are getting comfier going back to cinemas. It's a big event for people. Yeah, Spider-Man's going to do it.
But yeah, six overall. I still think that's fucking amazing
For a Spider-Man movie.
For just a Spider-Man movie, yeah. Like, that's an insane amount of money.
Shame Ant-Man didn't do that, Andy. Shows you who's the best. Spider-Man.
Ant-Man. will be here somewhere.
It won't. It'll be very far down, especially the sequel.
Yeah, it's not in the top 100, so
I would say so.
no, it'll be way down.
But then that's a bit like, do you know what I feel sorry for? Like, because it's not that bad a movie. Is the Han Solo movie, because like it didn't. It made money, but it didn't make anywhere near enough because folk were sick of Star Wars at the time because of The Last Jedi. Sorry, so it kind of put it in bad standing because not everybody liked The Last Jedi.
Funny though, the Batman is at number 110 all time.
I didn't like that. Have you seen it yet?
I've not seen it.
See, my biggest problem is the way that the Riddler looks. He's just a guy with gaffer tape in his face, and it's like you don't have to be Jim Carrey with like Lycra, but see the way they did it in Gotham with like a green suit. They could have just done something like that. Like he didn't. He basically wears like army gear, like army combat trousers, and army surplus coat, and he puts green gaffer tape in his face with glasses, and it's like that's not the Riddler. Like, why have you made him look like that? Like, he doesn't need to look like that. You could do a twist on the green suit. You could do something. Like, it doesn't have to be like how Adam West one looked or Jim Carrey's, but you could do a gritty version that didn't look like a gimp, basically. Have you seen what the Riddler looks like? Like, look up the Riddler from the Batman. You'll see what I'm talking about. The Riddler.
Batman and the Wasp made 600 million.
Yeah, obviously it made money. It's a Marvel movie, but that was an awful Marvel movie. It wasn't as bad as Thor 2, but it wasn't the best.
I haven't even found Ant-Man 1 yet, so it must have made less.
Ant-Man 1's a far better movie. That's why I assumed it would have done better.
Oh, Ant-Man 1 made 500 million, so Ant-Man 2 did better.
Wow. Is that because people told them that it had the scene to do with Avengers, maybe?
Both Ant-Mans made more than Venom Let There Be Carnage, so...
Yeah, it's a smaller movie. It is, and plus Venom Let There Be Carnage came out during the pandemic, so...
that is true.
Pandemic affected a lot. Like, I think the original Sonic movie would have done a lot more if it hadn't come out just as the country shut down, because I seen it the week before we get sent home at the cinema. That was like the last film I seen at the cinema.
I saw Sonic.
You saw Sonic? Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, right before, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Sonic just before we shut down, the week before we went up to Kilmarnock.
Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible costume. Like, he looks like a knockoff Doctor Doom.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible. Don't like him.
It's like there's other options. Like, Batman looks like fucking Batman, so why couldn't the Riddler look like Riddler?
Yeah, that's like a TV show knockoff where they don't want to make a decent costume for him, and I get like they want to differentiate it from like Jim Carrey's one.
Yeah, but you understand there's ways of doing it. Look at Gotham.
Yeah.
They had them. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like that. Like, that looks like something that I saw, and like, I get that's what they were kind of going for. They were kind of going for that in the movie as well, like more gory Riddler stuff. But Robert Pattinson wasn't bad, but I mean, he's not the best Batman. He's not the best Bruce Wayne either. Like, he was just okay. He was better than George Clooney.
Val Kilmer's my favourite one.
Val Kilmer was incredible, but I like Ben Affleck a lot. I really do. I think Michael Keaton's probably my favourite all-in. But Val Kilmer played the same Batman as Michael Keaton, because that was obviously a follow-on from his movie. But I didn't enjoy Christian Bale too much, because the voice of... He was a good Bruce Wayne, but see his Batman, like, it was so stupid. Like, his voice got so silly. By the end of it was ridiculous. It's not a car! It's like, why did I have to go that way? Like, you don't need to speak like that, dude.
It was so he kept his secret identity intact.
But that was ridiculous. No, but you don't need to. You don't need to do it that way. But like, he was a good Bruce Wayne.
Caricature or some shit.
And like, here's the thing. Like, see, to me, and yeah, this is just me. Yeah, the world doesn't revolve around me. We know it. But Bruce Wayne should be acting like a playboy, philanthropist, sort of like money spending. See, in this movie, he's like a wee weirdo goth that just cries about everything. It's like, I know your parents have died, but not everybody whose parents died decided to spend millions of money developing a bat suit and going out and creeping up on criminals. But like, you know, he's just mopey, and it's like, but you're now acting like Batman as Bruce Wayne, where Bruce Wayne should be completely different, like wild and outlandish and spending money on stupid shit. Like, Ben Affleck done it perfect, I think, where he balanced it, where he was calm and reserved, but he was like, I bought the bank. Like, he still bought outlandish shit, do you know what I mean? Like, he was still going to the art shows, you remember with Wonder Woman, he was still buying art. But, like, he still played it calm and reserved, whereas this one just plays like a goth from the fucking early 2000s sitting in the room listening to fucking Wake Me Up Inside by the Rasmus. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly.
Oh, you've got that wrong. It was that was Evanescence, Bring Me to
What
Life.
was it? Who did the Rasmus do?
The Rasmus was In the Shadows. They did this.
Well, listen to both of that pitch. That's what he comes across as, and it's like, but you're just acting like I'd imagine. So why is Batman not going to the Playboy Mansion? Like, Bruce Wayne needs to be a playboy in my mind. Like, even in Gotham, they had it pretty right. Like, he had these moments of reflection, but he also was like acting up, and he went to the club and stuff. And like, I really liked the way they done. Like, Gotham was brilliant, I thought, but he was fine as Batman. Like, but. Everybody saying he was the best Batman. It wasn't the best Batman movie. He isn't the best Batman. He was okay as Batman. Penguin was pretty good, but again, I'm sorry, but I think Gotham nailed Penguin and Riddler to a point where it's kind of hard to watch anyone else do it.
Yeah.
I know you watched Gotham. Do you agree with that? That they kind of got Penguin and Riddler spot on, like.
Yeah, Penguin was good. Danny DeVito's one's probably better still, but like Riddler was bang on.
Yeah.
Like, really, Jim Carrey's was awesome, but like I think
But he played Jim Carrey as the Riddler rather than the Riddler.
Yeah, totally. And like it was a weird caricature.
It was in a camp movie.
I loved him in Gotham. I thought it was brilliant.
Gotham was so good.
The whole of Gotham was really good actually. Apart from the first like six
episodes, we said that because it seemed as if anybody's never seen Gotham on Netflix, check it out. The first 6 episodes, they clearly didn't know what they were going for with the show, and then they went in a mid-season break and they came back, they'd regrouped and they went, we know what we want, and they stuck to it to the very end of the show, like the episodes with the Red Hood, the evolution of Penguin being the lackey, Fish Mooney's lackey, a bit like Will Smith, is so, and then the Riddler being the Riddler, but it was the first 6 episodes didn't know if it was going to be serious or tongue-in-cheek because it kind of had moments where it was really dark and really cool, and then the next one it was like, riddle me this, Nigma, and it's like, see, he's the Riddler, and it was kind of like that, and then they regrouped, they brought it back, they made it really good, like they had Falcone done. I liked Fish Mooney in the show, like Jada Pinkett was really good in it, and she got guys in that to go and slap other people as well, so it was kind of like real life. But I mean, they did it. All of it was really well done. Like I can't fault any part of it. I thought Gotham was. I even loved the fact that it didn't do a Smallville. We actually got to see him as Batman in the end, like fully in the suit, like and that kid. They were so lucky with that kid because in the first season of that kid looks like 8, and by the end of it, when he's like in his 20s, he's clearly put the bulk on slightly, and like. He looks like he could be the first year of Batman, and it's like that's what I want to see. So yeah, check out Gotham. But that's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
Let's finish up.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in, watching, listening. Consider subscribing because I found out during my analytics of social media studies recently that it's so fucking hard to find our video, even for me, who has access to the channel and subscribes to it. So if you want to find us, youtube.com/42level1 is what we should tell people, because if you search for 42level1, you'll find Dara's video from 2013 first. Our latest episode is at least 40 videos down because of a band that I wasn't aware of called Level 42.
Yeah.
They take up most of YouTube now. So if you search for us, you're not going to find it. But if you want to search
all of YouTube, doesn't matter what you search for, it's just Level 42.
It is. But if you want a searchable thing, and you like Star Wars Rebels Cast UK, you'll find, if you see the Geeky Antics ones, they're the audio podcasts, the old show, and there's a couple of videos up and some shots as well. Let me know what you think. Tune into them. But we should be back next week with some more fun and games and all that sort of stuff. But thank you again. We will see you. Bye.